Letitia, can you hear me?
Hey, Keith.
Hey, Kim, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, honey?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Yeah. Good to see you. What's up? Anything new?
Oh, there's some stuff going on, but we'll talk more about that later.
Okay. That sounds good. I miss you. We
I miss
haven't
you
had a
too.
nice meeting and a coffee. We haven't done that in over a year, huh?
It's
Been a
been
long
crazy.
time.
We'll have to figure out how you and I can get together. Letitia, I just wanted to say real quick, I got your message, so I'm glad you're on here. Thank you.
I can't see you, Letitia. What's your name? I can't see you, so I don't know. Tell me.
Letitia, I'm saying Letitia. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. It's Fernandez. She's on here. She can hear us, and so that's good.
That is good.
She said I can't unmute or
It's
turn on my
Letitia.
camera.
Yes. Is it Letitia or Letitia?
She said, yeah.
C. Oh, hi, I'm Kim.
Oh, I should change my
Keith,
name on here.
Sweetheart, I have to leave 5 minutes before again. I apologize, but I have a 4 o'clock.
That's okay. It's
So
okay. I appreciate you coming on here very, very much.
I appreciate our group.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how many
We have a
will be
lovely
on
group.
today. I had
what's the anybody speaking today?
Yeah. Yeah, we have a stroke survivor from back east who he and his wife are on here today. They have a website called Believe. It's a stroke recovery foundation that they started. And so we're going to have them talk today.
Nice. I saw that, but it looked almost like the people we had the other day. So that's why I was like, oh, is it the same people?
Yeah, no.
It's called believe.com. Is it believe.com?
No, it's believesrf.org. Hi, Mary.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm so much better a week out. I'm doing better. Yeah, my body's bouncing back. Thank you for asking.
Good. I was just kind of waiting.
I do not know her. Hi, I'm Kim.
I'm new. No,
I'm Mary.
Hi, Kim. Yeah, I just had a stroke last Tuesday, so a week today, March 2nd.
Oh my goodness.
On my right side, but I recovered within 8 hours. So.
Oh, so you had a TIA? Was it?
I had a TIA.
I
had a TIA. Yes, I did. That's what they're calling it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very happy that that's all it was, and you got to bounce right back. That's beautiful. Bravo.
I am so thankful. Yes, thank you, Kim.
Yes, it's something to be thankful for.
It puts a lot of things in perspective.
Yes, it does. It truly does.
Yeah.
Even when you have a massive stroke, it puts things in perspective.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, it's good to have you on here, Mary. We appreciate you coming on.
Thanks. Can you see me?
I'm gonna pull
I can see you guys.
I'm gonna pull my shades.
Maybe I should turn here a little bit.
No, we had you. You were fine.
Was I?
Yeah.
You could see me because it looked like it's really dark, but it's okay. There we
There you
go.
go. That's perfect.
That's a little better there.
Yeah. Hey, there's Michael and is it Jennifer?
Yes.
Jennifer, how are you?
Can you
Good.
hear
How
us?
are you guys?
Good, good.
Thank you so much for coming on here today.
You're more than welcome.
Yeah. I don't know how many we'll have. We're gonna we'll kind of go through the motions here for a little bit and see how many join us. I think a couple of them are gonna come on a little later. But I certainly appreciate you guys coming on. And one thing that we are gonna do, and I've already started, is I record these so that we can send them out to our whole group because, you know, because of the times and stuff, not everybody can get on there. So.
Well, how would you like to be with us? It's cocktail hour. It's
Well,
6 o'clock.
Oh.
Do you have your cocktail?
Well, I have some tomato juice. And it has some what, olives in it,
Yeah.
and it had olive in it, and maybe I couldn't tell, that looked like a vodka bottom. But
I was gonna say, I'm not sure he's telling me the whole truth, huh, Jennifer?
Yeah. If you learn that now, you'll know. He likes to embellish a little bit.
Love it. Well, we're excited to have you guys on here, and let's give it a few more minutes.
Okay, no
there
problem.
are a few more folks that are coming on here. I see a couple more, and let's get them coming on. And we again, we certainly appreciate you guys coming on, even though it's 6 o'clock there. Whereabouts are you exactly?
We are in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to work with the hospital there long ago.
Which
Yeah.
one?
Lewis, is it Lewis Gale?
Lewisburg?
Maybe it was the 1980s when I worked with HCA, Hospital Corporation of America, and they owned the hospital in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I launched a program called Seniority. It was for 55 plus people, 55 age group.
Okay.
But I was young then. Yeah.
Weren't we all?
Yeah, weren't we all? Once upon a time.
So Mary, going from North Carolina and being over there and being in Oregon now, you know, give me a heads up or just a bird's eye view.
Oh, well, I was born and raised in Corvallis, Oregon. Corvallis, and then I took a job after college in Nashville, Tennessee, which was a big change going from the west to the south. And that's when I worked with Lewis Gale Hospital in North Carolina. Yeah, but now I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it out west.
Well, that was a really good sway around to not answer my question. So thank you.
Well, was there more you wanted to know?
It's always nice going home.
I
Yeah.
grew up about 140 miles north of Nashville in Kentucky.
Oh, yeah.
I live right on the southern tip of Kentucky.
Right. Okay. Well, the Southern hospitality was very real. I was a single woman and I was 35 years old, and my next door neighbor came over and said, "No, I see that you're all alone and just want you to know that if you need me, I'm right here." She said, it's what we do here in the South. And I felt so supported. It was really lovely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, listen, let's kind of kick this off. I'll let people come in as they're coming. And I know we've got some more people showing up, and some of the people who are on here all the time are out today, but we're getting some more people are coming on right now. So anyway, we'll get kicked off here. Hey, Michelle.
I do.
Um,
I miss you. I
And
do.
Joe,
Yes, good
Nice.
afternoon.
nice to see you.
Yes,
Well, let's get started so that we can get Michael and Jennifer to tell us their story a little bit. I'm going to read this just a little bit because this is the first time we've met as well, you guys, and thank you so much for coming on here. We really do appreciate it. I am recording this so that we can send this out later. I was telling those guys. So Michael and Jennifer Erwin. Michael is a stroke survivor, had an extensive career in accounting and financial planning. He formed the Stroke Recovery Foundation. It's called Believe. Let's see, the website is Believe SRF, Stroke Recovery Foundation.org. And I encourage all you guys to look that up afterward. So let's see, for people to believe in themselves and to find their strength and courage. How awesome is that? It exists to provide stroke and brain injury survivors with financial assistance and resources to help them better control and manage their journey to recovery. Jennifer knows the effect of brain injury as the wife and caregiver of Michael, of course, and then she lost her sister to a traumatic brain injury, and her passion is to help and encourage others on their road to recovery. We're very excited to have you guys. And I'd love to have you guys just tell your story, and however it goes from there, we're open to that. And we just enjoy having you, and thank you for coming on.
Well, I have to clear my throat, but feel free, anybody, jump in at any time with any questions that you have. I gave a small presentation today to our stroke advisory SC Hours Council, and I gave that over May National Stroke Month, and we're trying to make a big deal of it here in Eastern Carolina. And then tomorrow, I think at 1 o'clock, I've got the UNC, which all know UNC if you know basketball, UNC Chapel Hill support group. And I've got it at 1 o'clock. But I thought y'all would probably get a kick out of this. My first support group was UNC. And I was so mad and aggravated, I never went back. I didn't. I think it had been like 6 months into my stroke, and I had a hemorrhagic stroke, and so I think that's about 13% of the people. But you know, I had a severe bleed, and it was near my brain stem, and so they couldn't operate. But I think my wife can tell you a lot more about that, since I didn't really know much what was going on. But you know, I went to the UNC stroke group, and I couldn't wait to go. And I was so excited that I had probably 100 questions that I wanted people to answer. And I got there, and a dietitian spoke the whole time, and I left not getting a single question answered. And you know, I can't say that my frame of mind at that time was that perfect, but I never went back because of that incident. But anyway, I have had high blood pressure since I was 35 years old. I was taking a blood pressure pill, And my blood pressure always checked around 150 over 90, 95. And whenever I got excited, obviously it went up. But it was a Sunday morning, and I had no pre-existing conditions, and I was really fine until I got up out of bed, and I fell back in bed, and I told Jennifer, I told her something's wrong, and I just started losing feeling in my right side, and she called the ambulance, obviously, and they got me to the hospital pretty rapidly, I think about in 20 minutes. But I turned out that I had a bleed. As I said, it was around the brainstem, and they couldn't do anything with it. But I really didn't know what was going on too much. But what?
Can I ask? Can I ask? Excuse me, for you to say again what the name of it was? What did you say it was? What kind?
It's called hemorrhagic stroke.
Hemorrhagic, huh?
And only about 13% of people have that stroke. Most of them have a blood clot.
Okay, yeah.
The bleed. He had the bleed.
And anyway, so that's what I had. Jennifer was taking care of the doctors. I really didn't know much what was going on. Do you have anything you want to tell at that
I was
point?
gonna let you finish.
No, I kind of expected you to jump in.
I would like to ask a quick question too before you start, Jennifer.
Okay.
When was this? When did this happen?
This was almost 3.5 years ago, September 10th, 2017. And he, Jimmy, go ahead.
Yeah, talk
Okay.
a lot. We'll both talk.
Yeah, Michael was only 58, and like he said, he had high blood pressure, but nothing that we thought that was of any concern, because the doctors kept him at a high blood pressure range and told him that was okay. But we know now that's not okay. So he had high blood pressure that was not being managed, but we didn't know that. We thought it was being managed. And so he had that hemorrhagic stroke, and like he said, it was in the area of his brain where they couldn't operate, so it was a wait and see game. And in the beginning, he had severe aphasia, couldn't walk, couldn't do anything. And so, of course, I did a crash course of teaching myself everything I could, about it, because, in the hospital, they give you a thick pamphlet of information, and honestly, it gives you all the worst case scenarios. And so I had to do a lot of research on my own. But anyways, through it all, Michael, he got better, as far as I knew from the very beginning. He could understand that he did not lose his cognitive ability to understand, even though he couldn't communicate. I could tell he could understand, so that was promising. And so it's been a long journey, and lots of details we could go in to tell you, but we had to move with my parents for help and support, and navigating the medical facilities and insurance and all that. It was just so overwhelming what people have to go through, and I just can't imagine a stroke survivor having to deal with this without any support. So anyway, during
My turn.
Well, if you want.
Okay. Well, there was a few funnies. I mean, nothing about a stroke is funny, but I had really sensitive hearing and sensitive eyesight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't stand for more than one person at a time to talk.
Exactly. Yes, I totally relate to that. That's really helpful.
Then whenever I could muster out words, I would always, as I call them, $10 words. Jennifer didn't know if it was a word or not. She was having to look it up in the dictionary. But I couldn't say the simple words. You know, gosh, one of probably the worst time of my life, the
Speech therapy.
no, the urinary bag or
The urinal.
bucket,
The
yeah,
urinal.
urinal. You know, it was so funny. The nurse had taken it to the bathroom, and I was looking around and I couldn't get that out, and I had to go so bad I didn't know what to do, and I was hunting it, and my mother-in-law was there and she didn't know what I was doing, and finally she found it in the bathroom. Boy, there was and I have to tell you this. Might as well go through some fun things when there are so many bad things. But the funny was, one night I was watching TV and nobody else was talking. And Jennifer stayed with me every night for 36 nights in the hospital.
Wow.
Anyway, she had left her phone in the bedroom or hospital room,
To
and
go do laundry.
and she had set the alarm. Oh God, that alarm was going off. I couldn't get Jennifer. I couldn't get the nurse. We did this twice.
I got in
thought,
trouble.
geez, but nobody would come. I was dying.
No.
It was awful. But
You have to laugh when you can.
yeah, I do. And I know that when they took me down for rehab, I could not stand to be in the room with all those people, and I couldn't stand the fluorescent lights.
Yeah.
It was hard enough to focus on the fact that my leg was a noodle. I couldn't believe it. My arm was a noodle. And then I couldn't focus whatsoever because somebody was talking. And anyway, I've always wondered, were they doing the correct thing on having me in a place that so many of the I just couldn't focus.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll shut up for a while. I told all the bad things. Are you know?
He's a talker.
Yeah. The 33rd day I was in the hospital, and I was supposed to go home. And the problem was my blood pressure had been spiking all the time while I was in the hospital. And yes. Anyway, I was thinking of potassium. I remember the Duke Hospital doctors kept increasing my potassium. Have y'all ever had potassium? It's awful. There isn't much worse tasting than potassium. But anyway, they couldn't get my blood pressure right. And I always consider this one of my miracles in life, is that I met a doctor from the outside. He's a blood pressure specialist and a kidney specialist. He came in, both Jennifer and I were in there, and he was going on and on. Anyway, he came up with the prescription, and he changed my blood pressure. But ever since he changed my blood pressure, it has been around 115 over 67.
Wow.
115 over 67. And I just sat and thought, this guy has just done what nobody else, even close, has done. All these doctors over the last few years, and this guy has done it. I still see him, and he's a pretty good distance away, but I consider him a God-given miracle.
Yeah. Yeah. So a couple of things I wanted to just ask. First of all, I just wanted to comment on your sense of humor. I love it because, you know, you got to have a sense of humor to get through it. I think we would all agree.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. And I appreciate that about you. Oh, here's Lana coming in too. I appreciate hearing that about you, Michael, and you know, it's a tough road, I know, but having the right attitude is a big deal. And then what did I put down here? I said hospital was giving you too much. Trying to remember what we were talking, what you were talking about at that time. I don't know what my own note is.
Me?
Too much stimulus.
Well, why did he, how many days was it from the time he was gonna get out, that 33rd day? And
It was the 33rd day, and they wanted to release me that day. I got out on the 36th, so they kept me 3 more days after the doctor had come in and prescribed a different dosage of medication. And
Blood pressure.
yes,
yeah,
yes.
Because his blood pressure was too high.
yeah, yeah. So I kind of wanted to shift gears a little bit, and I want to have you guys move into the whole Believe website and the Stroke Recovery Foundation, and what motivated that, and you know, where's that at, and just talk about that a little bit for us, if you would, please.
The Believe thing was really pretty interesting. I had been 7 months post-stroke, I guess, and I really started worrying about what am I going to do now. And you know, I started praying. I thought I would probably do something at the church, and I didn't think it would be complicated or anything. And after about a month of praying about it, I had a dream one night. I was going to open a nonprofit, and I had a dream that the name was going to be Believe.
Wow.
And, you know, I kind of woke up and I thought, I just had some crazy dream. And I had the dream over the next 30 days. I probably tell you 3 times.
Wow.
And, you know, I told God at that time I would open a nonprofit if I could walk by January. And I mean, I was just moving around in a Hemi walker. And I thought, okay, I'm making you a deal. Well, January, January 2019, it was. In January 2019, I walked completely around the rehab building. It was a third of a mile. and I walked without a cane, and hard to believe, but that is where Believe got started. And Jennifer and I started it, and we got 5 board members. And unfortunately, Believe was supposed to launch with a big celebration in
put your water back.
I'm sorry, is there a question?
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you gotta mute yourself, Michelle.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
It's okay, baby.
Okay, sorry.
We were supposed to launch Believe April 23rd, 2020. And as you can guess, the COVID kind of delayed us. Right now, we are scheduled for September 2021 to launch. And we are very excited about it. We think that at that time, we plan on having a big celebration for stroke survivors.
So what entails the launch?
Yeah.
Because I see your website and all that. Tell me more about that, please.
Okay, I want to back up just a little bit to the creation of Believe. Of course, if you guys have had any experience with this, with me trying to find the right facility, you don't know anything. You just have to go by the advice of whomever. So we were advised to go to this outpatient facility. As I've always heard, you don't know what you don't know, you know. So we went to this outpatient facility, and I was not happy with them, but I didn't have anything to compare it with. So I didn't know if it was just Michael not being able to do these things. You know, it was a very depressing place, to be honest. So anyways, you only get a certain amount of visits with your insurance. So when it was time for, you know, his insurance to run out, I did some research, and I found a facility that was out of our insurance network. So I thought, if we're going to pay out of pocket, let me find somewhere else. So we went to this place, and it was like night and day. I mean, it's like, I wish I'd have known about it to begin with. I wish someone had talked to me and was able to, you know, guide me along. So anyways, he did wonders, and he progressed just phenomenally at this new facility. So as you know, you only get so many visits per calendar year. So, you know, we paid out of pocket, and for 2 years, except for what the insurance, a little bit the insurance covered. And then the next year, because it wasn't covered, we paid all out of pocket because it was an out of network facility. And as you all probably know, you don't get disability. You're not able to get on Medicare unless you're on 2 years of disability. So you've got this gap, you know, that people have to pay out of pocket. And so through that, and of course, discussing it with Michael, and, you know, him understanding everything, but me trying to navigate this just such complicated, you know, medical facilities, insurance and all that, that was the backup of what we would do with the nonprofit. You know, it's just, our hearts were, you know, thank God we were able to pay out of pocket, but just the thought and meeting different people who we never saw again because they couldn't go to therapy. So,
Yeah.
so that's how we got to what we would actually do with Believe. And because of because of COVID, we've got kind of shut down, and it's been difficult. So we've got lots of things we want to do that hopefully this year we'll be able to start doing. And as far as to answer your question, what the launch entails, we've been doing what we could as far as just word of mouth and talking to different people. And like Michael said, he attends these stroke advisory committees, which is a statewide committee that educates hospitals and rehab facilities on stroke awareness and what's being done for stroke awareness, but also stroke recovery. So it's a big group of people trying to make a difference, but it's on a large scale. So Believe is just trying to, you know, we're much smaller, but we want to reach the people that we can to, you know, even if it's just one person to give them the financial assistance and guidance on all the other things that you need, you know, when you come home, how to set up your house, how to set up your, you know, just all that kind of, so much that we, you know, it just breaks our heart to think people are out there without any support. So, but the launch, we were going to, we've got a great board, and we were going to have like a launch party, and we had this big group of people that were on our invite list from medical facilities and anybody that could partner with us, like that, like people, what do you call it, that make the equipment, you know, anything related, any kind of partnerships, or people that have been touched by stroke somehow or another. But so we're inviting all these people, and we're hoping to get all these partners to, you know, just help bring awareness and help each other how we can, whether it's donating equipment or, like, you know, we want to be able to pay for the therapy, but also there's a lot of equipment out there that's not covered by insurance. And like resources, like, you know, recommending books, recommending support groups, just whatever we can do to help the person that doesn't know how to navigate the system, or not able to navigate the system, or doesn't have anybody to help. So that's,
I thank you so much. And, you know, I just want to jump on board of what you're saying. And probably everybody on this call will agree with this. You know, it came back to me what you were talking about, you know, where you said that the hospital just gives you this plethora of stuff,
Yeah.
just, you know, here you go, which SAO, Stroke Awareness Oregon, is working hard, believe it or not, on that specific item.
right.
We don't need to go into that today, but anyway, that's so true. That happened to me as well. You get all this stuff, you walk out of there, you don't know where to go. Where do I go from here? Who do I call? Who do I even talk to about therapists? I mean, it was just inundating.
Yeah.
And so I really am excited about what you guys are doing. I think that one of the keys, and this is just my own personal professional attitude coming out a little bit, you know, is, you know, how do we get the word out about this, right? And once you get launched, we've got to really get the word out, and you know, you can count on us to help do that as well, because that's a big deal.
Yeah, and we, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
And we hope that other people will join us, like start their own nonprofits, or just, we hope that we can be a model for other people to do the same thing in other states or part of the country, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
And you know, I would like to say,
Go ahead.
thank you. I just wanted to say that I think that that's a great thing. And I think SAO is really trying to do that, so that all nonprofits in every state can come together. And then, because we, with all that we're doing, we can help and all link arms and then educate those who have been educating us. Because, you know, the funny thing is that we're being educated, but what the experience of stroke and what you have to go through is so vast, and has so much great information for those that are trying to help us. So it's like, let us help you help us.
Right, right.
So that, you know, we're all working together. Right. And I think that that is something very important, that we all help each other.
Absolutely.
Very, very much.
one of the words you just used to describe stroke is vast. You know, we were talking a lot for this presentation I had today for the Raleigh group, and nobody really realizes how vast, how difficult it is. You know, I've had 3 knee operations. I've had a torn Achilles. I've had 2 third-degree ankle sprains. I've had a broken foot. You know, I knew what it meant to rehab. It wasn't a problem. but I never dreamed
Yeah.
what a stroke would entail. I I think I fought it for 6 or 7 months, and I was very frustrated. And then I realized it's just going to come to me as time goes by, and I'll keep working at it, but I'll no longer be frustrated. But I tell you, it's tough having a stroke.
Well, what a lot of people don't realize,
Yes.
and we didn't necessarily know a lot either, as you all know, we didn't realize it was a brain injury. I mean, we knew it was a brain, but like Michael says, he thought he could just get into rehab and get his body going again. He didn't realize it was his brain that needed healing, not the body. So that's what a lot of other people don't even realize.
Well, and that's the other thing that I have a lot of conversations with people about is that, unfortunately, I was talking to a guy yesterday who had a stroke just, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And he was still told by his doc that, you only have about a year and a half as good as it's going to get. And that drives me bananas.
Yes.
That's one thing that I'm very passionate about.
Well,
So.
we were even told 3 to 6 months, and that was it.
We had several people tell us that, but she had doctors telling her when that 2 or 3 days when I had the stroke that I would never walk again. I might not get back
Yes.
any of my cognitive functions, and they were wrong. They
Now,
don't.
was it 2017, Michael? What was the date again?
2017. Yeah.
September 10th, 2017.
Yeah. 2017, and they're saying this stuff.
I know.
And
Exactly.
I view myself as getting stronger every day. Right now,
You are.
I am getting out to walk again. The weather has been great here, and I am walking better than I have ever walked before.
Yes.
I think we just constantly, if we try and we keep striving for it, that we get a lot stronger.
Well, you gotta have the support,
So,
Yeah.
yes, Michael, I wanted to say one thing. It's really helpful to hear you say about the hearing, because when I was having the stroke and I was in ICU, there were 2 nurses outside my door that were arguing with each other. And after a while, I just said, "I can hear you."
I know.
And I normally wouldn't say that, but I'm like, I can't take that.
Yeah.
And so just knowing that my heightened hearing is just having you say that's something that you experienced makes me feel less like it was strange. So thank you.
Yeah.
It's
Very heightened.
the one thing.
Hypersensitive.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one thing that I have recognized that almost all, no 2 strokes are alike. We agree upon that.
Yeah.
But we all have some of the same afflictions, just different degrees of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think
And
it's
Michael, I want to share some experience, strength, and hope to you. I am coming up on 6.5 years since my stroke. Lana and I had our stroke 2 weeks apart. And I want to say that I had some incredible healing in my 3rd, 4th year. I am always getting better. And there's something about just defying this idea. We're paralyzed. I remember when they first told me I was paralyzed on my left side, I said, "Don't say that.
Yeah.
That is not a word that does anything to me except make me feel like I'm it's like a death sentence."
Yeah.
And so all we have to do is keep our minds knowing, you have God, you have faith in your life, and you just keep saying, "Thank you. Thank you." I tell you, there's something about gratitude and knowing that we're right where we're supposed to be and we're being loved. And, this other idea that we should just go, become these sad little people, we've got a disability, and, that's just something to defy.
One other thing, I'm gonna piggyback on that for a second. Thank you, Kim. Is that, first of all, number one, caregivers, we got to give credit. And Jennifer, I want to just say, you're an awesome lady for, going through what you've done, because, the caregivers are kind of the quiet strength that we have that don't really get a lot of accolades and whatever. But the other thing is, oh shoot, I'm sorry, I probably lost it again.
That's okay.
Don't feel that. Don't feel that. Hey, Lame.
But he's normal. He's normal.
Yeah, that's normal.
I do that all the time.
You can keep growing. You just got to believe it. You got to
Yeah.
believe it. Oh, and you got to work at it. And that's the other thing I was going to say was, a lot of times we as stroke survivors, we work hard on ourselves all the time, and we don't get any, no one's telling us either, how we're getting better, or we're not telling ourselves. And we have to somehow either measure or have somebody that's noticing. I'm not looking for false hope. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is measure yourself in some form so that you can see the progress, because that progress is what gives us more energy to go do it again and go do it again.
Absolutely. I videoed Michael from the beginning and have notebooks of progress and what was going on. And so when he would have his low moment, he's been great for a long time now. And luckily he doesn't remember the first days as well as I do when he was down and all that. But when he'd have his, I say, blue days, I would show him the videos, or, show him even what, like, he couldn't write. He couldn't do, couldn't do anything. And so I would just pull all that out and say, look at this, and look how far you've come. And it always, that was a kick in the butt he needed to keep going. So
Absolutely.
Today, during the Stroke Advisory Council, there was 4 things I touched on. And one of them was we need to educate the public. And this was all for May. And they are clueless. I mean, really, they are. I don't mean to be ugly, but they
No,
are.
you're being honest.
this was advisory committee, like you said, of medical professionals and partners and all that, and still they don't get it sometimes.
But I told them that we need to honor the stroke teams at the hospitals.
Yeah.
We need to honor and celebrate the therapist. And, I don't know if anything is more important than the therapist. I know that some people are unfortunate enough, they don't get very good therapists, and some people are very fortunate. But, that therapist becomes your best friend. They become your motivation, your cheerleader, your compassion. And, a good one will kick you in the ass when you aren't performing. But they have to be able to recognize compassion to you need a kick in the ass. But those people are so important to us. They are really, they're our first social interaction. And for a lot of people, that don't ever get out and only go to therapy, that's all they know. But I just, with this May National Stroke Awareness coming up, the fact that there is 800,000 strokes compared to 400,000 breast cancer. And both of them, yes, everybody's been absolutely shocked when you do it. And in North Carolina, which is considered a stroke belt, which is a different subject matter we won't get in, but it is 3 to 1.
Wow.
And nobody does a thing. I mean, in May, nobody is doing anything as far as I know. But last year, we got a hospital that got very involved. They got T-shirts. Oh, yeah.
He wants to
Can
show
you see it? Hang on. There it is. Is that it? And Lonnie Nonne knows where I stowed Warrior at.
I love it, Mike.
He's in a very cramped area here. I'm trying to make sure he doesn't
Can you
fall.
see the back?
Yep.
Love
Wow,
that.
that's cool.
Okay.
Lanae
Can
has
I have,
something to say. Go ahead, Lanae.
I had a couple, just a quick comment. Thank you so much, Michael, for bringing up those good statistics. I think probably all of you know that stroke is the #1 cause of disability in the United States. It's also the #5 cause of death. I just came back from the dentist, so I sound a little funny. So, and that really is something that we need to educate people on. The other thing that we're trying to do at SAO is to teach people that stroke is a brain attack.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know, you really touched on something that really resonates with me. And even in my early recovery, I have to admit, when I used to think if I could just get my arms stronger, it would work. And it really took a lot of sinking in and study, you know, to realize this is a neurological, it's a brain attack, not a body attack. So we've got to educate people, and also learn to work into your vernacular brain attack rather than stroke, because that really resonates with people. They're familiar with heart attack and they get what that is, but let's talk about brain attack.
Yeah.
That's a
Sorry,
good
I
point.
can't talk very well.
You sound fine, but that's a good point.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Wow.
You talking about that in March of last year, when COVID hit, I got a exercise bike. I got a recumbent bicycle. And the first time I may have made it about a half a mile. And my foot, I was struggling with it going off. And I said, God, I'm going to do this. Well, today I do 5 miles
Wow.
in 5 miles in 30 minutes.
Wow. Oh my
Awesome.
gosh.
And then I do another 20 minutes backwards. But you know, the strange thing about, even though I can do this like this, it doesn't equate to walking or anything else. I think you can develop those brain patterns to whatever you're doing, but that tells you that what you do and that consistency, you will be able to accomplish that goal.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
know, I tell you something, it will show up. It might not show up now, but it will show up in your abilities. I was on the treadmill and doing 5,000 steps 4 times a week, and it did change my gait. It changed. I'm up, I can do like 3.0 now. When I first started walking on the treadmill, I could only do 1.5, you know? So it does. And yeah, there's things that don't change, but I realize again, it is within my brain. It is like in the Star Trek movies, when the ship goes offline and it starts going down and Kirk has to go up and push to get back online. And that's what it is. It's about our brain getting back online.
That's true.
But we just have to keep seeing it go. Keep visualizing our brain rewiring. How many of us really visualize our brain rewiring daily?
That's right.
Does anybody here do that?
Absolutely.
His current therapist is a little
You
bit
know?
non-orthodox, and he's got Michael to start visualizing things. He's had his own health issues that he's accomplished.
Yes.
And he credits when he wasn't able to do anything physically, him visualizing himself doing things, and that's helped Michael a lot.
Yeah, he uses the subconscious a lot. And he has me listen, he'll have me close my eyes for 10 minutes. And, you know, I can't believe what he does with my arm while I'm listening to tapes on subconscious.
And he's a PT, not a PT, so he's just dabbling. He's just trying to see what he can come up with. That's the other thing I wanted to mention too about what we'd like to do, like the alternative medicines out there and the alternative thinking that is so helpful that insurance doesn't pay for. That's what we want people to do. Try it. Like I said, try it. There's different things work for different people.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
Yes. Yes, yes,
Yeah. Well,
yes. Meditation, visualization.
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
What do they call it?
acupuncture,
Well,
Right?
mindfulness is what they like to call it. Mindfulness.
mindfulness.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't know it, Kim teaches mindfulness.
Oh, wow.
No, I teach. I teach meditation and mindfulness. I think of meditation, if you have a God of your own understanding, meditation is really about tuning in with that. And mindfulness is about, bringing that awareness to right now. You need to be right here, right now in order to tune in to something greater. But I tell you, it is huge. I've been meditating over 30 years on a daily basis. I know it's one of the things that makes my recovery what it is. And I too, at 58, Michael, had a massive hemorrhagic stroke. Wasn't in my brainstem, it was on the right side. I lost my whole left side. And so, yeah.
I noticed that you're moving your arm pretty well.
Yes. Look at this, right? And I saw it first.
And
Lane, we used to talk about, see your arm moving, even just start, see it move. Make the effort to move your arm, even when you can't. The impulse, it's doing something. It's doing something. And now, Michael, look at this with my arm.
that
is like,
is fantastic.
what
Instead,
about that?
I'm getting passionate and mine is coming up to my chin.
That's great. Knock yourself out.
Maybe, Kim, you will know this. In the last 3 or 4 months, I would say, I am having, when I go to bed at night, I know where my hand is and I'm touching it, but I am feeling it over somewhere else.
Like phantom.
Yeah, like a phantom.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's interested me. I stopped it the other night by reaching out with my other arm where the phantom was. I don't know what it means, but
Okay, can I say something?
It's just recent.
I want you now, so what it says to me is that you are understanding your arm can move out here. And I
Wow.
want you to start visualizing your arm moving. That's where it started for me, moving to the side. So it's interesting that you have a sense of your arm being on the side. And that tells me your arm can be on the side. And so you want to start just when you're laying down in bed, just begin to start stretching it out. Really start seeing yourself doing that. I tell you, there's something to it. Because my arm is completely moving now. I used to do this. I used to have to pull my arm, and I used to say to Alane, don't do that. Don't do that.
She did.
And it's, it, right? And I get why we do this, but all I can say is the more you do this, you're not having the trust and faith that you can move your arm. Like I used to move from my shoulder. I couldn't move my arm. So again, I think what those doctors do is they stunt our growth. They tell us these certain things like you're going to only get 6 months progress, and it works in our brain. And we start doubting, doubt is the seeds of negativity that get us not to have no hope. So we have to move that doubt and say, no, I'm so about this. I'm like how Keith feels. It's just like we're passionate about this, right?
Yes.
It's something to get passionate about.
Yes.
That we can get better. And not only forget the can, I actually say, forget saying I can get better. I am getting better every moment of the day. These are the affirmations we want. That's the other thing. Affirmations, put them on your mirror. I am walking, I walk. When I wasn't walking, I kept hearing myself say, I can't walk. And then I went, oh, Kim, you keep saying that. Then that's what you're going to do, not walk. And I started saying, I can walk. I can walk. And I can walk. I walk. And it's like, it's really one of those things that we have to affirm. Not that it's going to happen someday. I'm using my arm. Why do we have to say I can't use my arm just because your arm's not working? Why can't we say I'm using my arm? Even if it's hanging down, I use my arm. I can scratch my head now. I couldn't scratch my head.
That's awesome.
So again, let's affirm. Write down affirmations. If you're not sure what an affirmation is, send it to me and I'll help you put it into the words that are truly affirming.
Kim, it is also interesting, even though I can feel my arm when I go out like that, I can feel my hand and I think I'm moving my fingers and it feels, and I really, the other night, I really had to sit and think about it because I was thinking all of my fingers were moving and everything. And I knew that I had a hold of my hand, but it was so real. I couldn't believe it. But I've been doing it.
That's beautiful.
For a few weeks.
Okay. Keep it up.
The beginning, right?
You're being shown something for yourself. Okay. It's so real. So allow it to be real. That's what I would say to that. Does anybody ever have those experiences where they steal their arm out someplace else? Lane, do you ever have that experience?
Well, the
Like Michael
experience I have is I frequently, especially in bed with my weak arm, I feel like I'm moving, opening my fingers and it's moving. And I would swear I have to lift it up the sheets and look. But I figure that's the beginning of those neural pathways reconnecting.
Yes, I
Let-
agree with it.
Letitia says she does too. She feels that too.
Okay,
Well, and I had
you
something
know,
like
I'm
that.
sorry, they can't tell it.
Steve, go ahead.
Sorry.
I was just going to say I had something like that too, only I understand it to be proprioception. And proprioception is knowing where your limbs are in space when your eyes are closed. So when you
Yes.
close your eyes and you know where your hands are. And
Yes,
so when I was lying in bed in the hospital, I would point up to the corner of the room with my left arm, close my eyes, and when I opened them again, just a few seconds later, I was almost pointing across the room, and I didn't even know it. And so all that really is a sensory loss similar to the numbness that I already have on my left side. And it is coming back through the neuroplasticity of my brain cells relearning what the old brain cells lost when they died.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
by the way, I agree with all of you saying that this never stops progressing. And the reason I think that's true is because it's what our brains do every day.
Yeah.
When you think about it, every conversation you have, every book you read, every new idea that you get changes you,
Yeah.
changes what
Yes.
you know. And that's the same process that our brains are using to reteach the other brain cells what the brain cells lost. And that has happened since you were born and will happen until you die. So that's, and I've done quite a bit of reading about this on neuroplasticity written by a number of neurosurgeons so I think that that's pretty backed up with what they've said in their books. And so I would agree with you. You never give up hope. You never stop trying.
never.
You always, and I never had a doctor tell me that I only had 6 months or a year, but I did read about it. I did read that other people were saying that. And so I feel like I was privileged by not having that negativity, because I do think you have to have a good, I do think that you have to have a good attitude, like you're saying, Kim. You really do have to have a good attitude. The other thing that you have to have are marks of progress, like Keith was talking about, of logging or writing down each step of progress. Because it's one thing to have a good attitude and being open to change. It's another thing to really recognize when you've made progress and that you can measure it, so that it's not just you kind of blowing smoke. It's you knowing that you have made a step, that you have made some progress. And when you write it down, then you can go back and read it, even if you've forgotten. And you can say, oh, here's where I started. Here's what I've done along the way. Here's where I am now. By damn, I should have a good attitude.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so you need both of those things.
Keith, I just wanted to add a quick comment. I think that as stroke warriors, we are all challenged to educate the medical community, show them that we can recover. My family was told I would never get out of bed. Now, those of you that know me well will laugh at that. And I walk all over, I drive all over, all that stuff. But we have to show the medical community that when they mouth that, they're wrong. And I have to tell you, I have heard this so much.
Yeah.
I heard it again the other day that somebody was told, well, you'll get better, you have about a year. And so if we keep showing the medical community that's not true, they will begin to rethink that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that percentage, I track it fairly often, and it's almost 90% of people. So anyway, you're right on, and we're getting close to time. So Michael and Jennifer, keep going, please. Just
One thing, since we were all sharing, I'd say in the last 3 months, I have lost the numbness in my face. I mean, I have had that since for almost 3.5 years. I really haven't even told my wife because I'm always afraid I'm going to jinx myself. But I have, and the other thing that I used to always get a feeling of nauseous whenever it would rain. And my wife will tell you, there were days that I just wanted to be in bed. I just feel sick and like I'm going to throw up, but I never do. But it was always whenever rain was coming. And for whatever reason, I seem to have got over it too in the last 3 months. So I don't know what I have done. I don't know. Yeah, what's done it, but I don't feel either one of those in almost 3.5 years.
wow.
Excuse me, I am so sorry, but I have to leave. Thank you guys so much. You were wonderful. Keith, would you give me their email? I'd love to send them my video.
Absolutely. Thank
Love you all.
Kim.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Hi, Kim.
Sorry.
And you guys are okay
Okay,
with
bye.
me sharing your email, I take it?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And we want to give, since it was Lonnie's idea, each of you a Stroke Warrior t-shirt. So
Oh,
if y'all
wonderful.
will it,
Just send your sizes and your address.
I have women's or men's. I also have, I've got a Believe hat on, but I've also got a Stroke Warrior hat coming. So anybody that wears a hat, please let us know. But
Awesome. Awesome.
for Lonnie's sake, I know Lonnie and I kept talking about the May National Stroke Awareness. I tell you, Lonnie, I know y'all just didn't have the time this year. It is an undertaking. So you really have to get behind it, and you.
But it's the beginning. I
Yeah.
told him it's the beginning.
Absolutely.
So I'll start joining forces, and hopefully every year
And
we can get some
we
more.
can work together. Right now, SAO has so many things that we've taken on, and they're all going very well. But so maybe next year we can do a challenge. I would love that.
Yes. And the key is it's just awareness. And we've got so many things we want to do, but it's just us and the board, and we all work. And so we have to do it in our spare time, as you know. And we've had a very tough time with the school situation of trying to get an intern. We cannot get any help. We lost our social media help, and I fumble with it. We need someone young who can just it's second nature to them. But so we have a lot of great things, and we're just so thankful we're meeting people like you, and we just hope that we can, like you said, join hands and just bring awareness. And I think it was Kim who said, like,
Here's
people
a little tip for you. SAO just got we're going to have a full-time intern this summer, a young woman who's a college student. She's a neuropsych major. She wanted to learn about stroke and as it related to psychology and neurological issues. Reach out to some of the colleges in your area, because I bet you can find an intern that you won't need to pay.
We're hoping so.
Yeah, we have one coming in May.
We're trying, but like I said,
we had a wonderful intern last year, and she came from one of the local colleges, and we just got to find another one.
Yeah.
it's still about getting the word out, and people just don't share information like you hope they would. They just don't. I don't know if they just get busy or forget or whatever, but it's a challenge. But I told Michael, I said, we've just got to keep pressing on. And as one of our dear friends reminded us, she was like, don't get discouraged, because even if we can just help one person that wouldn't have had the help otherwise, so we have to keep that in mind. It's just, we've got to start somewhere. And like Michael was saying, how not taking anything away from breast cancer, or how, what a tragedy that is. But like he said, it's a marketing machine.
Yeah.
But I think people, like Kim mentioned, I think people look at stroke survivors, sometimes it's like, you get the sad face, like, oh, I'm so sorry. But it's like, we have a great life. We've got our sense of humor. It doesn't mean we're curled up in a ball somewhere.
That's right.
I think people are afraid because they're not educated. So it's
you're totally hitting on another button for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to be quiet. But
there's a lot of buttons.
Yeah, I got a lot of buttons.
There is. There is a lot of buttons.
So let me finish up, you guys, and just tell you, first of all, number one, I'd like to invite you guys, please join us anytime. We have these meetings twice a month, on the 2nd and the 4th Tuesday of every month. And, we're trying to grow our database, or for lack of a better term, and help more people. And so I think we're doing a pretty good job of it so far. Having people like you speak for us, we thank you so much. It means the world to have you come and speak. And the encouragement that you give is worth everything in the world. So we thank you so much for that.
Well, we really enjoyed it. We think we really found it quite inspirational.
Good.
It helped us. Hopefully it helped you.
It did.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. All right, I'll send a recording out too, so you have it.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.
Great.
Give me a day or two to get that.
That's fine.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you, everybody that's not.
Thanks,
Thank you for people in the chat.
And I'll send the t-shirts to Keith or to Lonnie.
Okay.
And,
maybe.
as I said, you'll have to tell her what size you want.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
I'll reach
both
out
of
to
you.
everybody.
Oh, thank you. I can't wait to get mine.
And Mary, you're on the SAO website, or you signed in, right? That's how you knew about the meeting?
No, actually, Norwin Newby told me about this.
Oh,
Awesome.
Norman, one of our board
I
members.
used to work, I was a consultant at St. Charles for a year, and I interfaced with him years ago. And so he knew about this from his wife, I guess. Yeah.
No, Norwin is on the SAO board.
Oh, good. Okay.
And Norwin and I are big friends.
Good. Me too. He's been a friend
Mary,
for a long time. Yeah.
Mary, I need your email.
Okay.
Yeah, I do too.
Type it in the chat real quick and I'll get it before I sign off. Or just tell it to me.
Yeah, it's really easy. Yeah, it's just my name, Mary. And then last name Marquis, Marquis, S as in Sam, S as in Sam @gmail.
Perfect. And you'll get one from me. It's strengthafterstroke.com.
Okay, great. Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
All right. Thank you guys so much. And I'll get you a list, and you're probably going to regret saying that, because you're going to get one.
That's okay.
Not a problem.
He's just going to tell me to do it. It's not a problem.
Warrior was Lonnie's idea, because I always use stroke survivor, and I said, I'm going to steal that from you.
Good. I like that. I love it.
Let me say one last thing. And
yeah.
Lonnie hates it when I say this.
No, kid, no.
She is a warrior like you guys can't believe.
Oh,
if
wow.
you only had an inkling of knowing. She keeps me running like a banshee. Matter of fact, I'm going to put the brakes on you tomorrow, Lonnie. When I
no, you're not. We need you. Great job. Great job.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.